Hi, Intro to Lit. This is vocab lesson number 2. And it includes pages 7 through 10, and it includes a context lesson beginning on page 143 through 148. Those are the pages that you should have in front of you. Now, with even lessons, you don't have analogies. All right. It's kind of a review of the first 2 lessons. You will have an article that includes all 20 words. And because this copy is yours, I would encourage you, as you can see that I've done, I would encourage you to mark it up. Look for context clues. Another good reading comprehension strategy, especially when you know that you're going to have to answer questions about these words. Read through the questions first. Find out what they're going to ask you about that word, even a brief going over it, and then go back and read the article. All right? Get used to reading the article a couple of times. It's not lengthy, and the articles are really quite good. All right, another reason why I'm very fond of this curriculum. Okay, I believe we are clear on what you have to do for the sentences. I'm going to make reference to them, but I want to show you. Let's see, I've marked mine up so that I know what I'm going to tell you about and how to figure out the context clues with these words, because there's numerous ways that context clues are given. Sometimes you're given a straight up a synonym, where right behind the vocab word they'll give you another word that means exactly the same thing. Or another method that's used is they'll give you the opposite. They'll use opposite type words, or they'll say so-and-so is not belligerent, instead he is peaceful. Okay, we kind of have an example of that in the first sentence, but I want to talk a little bit about the other ways that the context helps us. Sometimes, to help you understand the word, they'll give you an example of the word or the meaning. All right. Sometimes they'll give you an analogy to help you understand the word. Now, if that happens in the context story, you can bet 100% of the time they're going to ask you about that analogy in the questions that come after the article. Okay, so pay attention to analogies. Okay, similes, metaphors, that's what I mean there. Similes and metaphors, they'll always, if they try to use that to help you understand a word, they'll always ask you about it to make sure that you understood the simile or the metaphor. Okay? So, let's go ahead and talk about each of these words. Some of these words will be familiar because you were introduced to them through the analogies in the last lesson. Okay? So, the first word, belligerent, is an adjective, and this particular sentence gives us an opposite word. It begins with the opposite-like word. It says, unlike the more belligerent heroes. Okay, unlike. So we're saying, okay, he's not belligerent. He is, Yudhisthira is reluctant to fight. So belligerent must mean anxious to fight, because Yudhisthira is unlike that. He's reluctant to fight. See how the opposite can help you there. Okay. All right. On number 2, havoc. With this particular one, there is an exact synonym that's given to you. Now, it doesn't come right after the word, but it's in there. To reclaim his throne, Yudhishthira must go to war, even though it creates havoc and destruction. Okay, so actually there are a couple of synonyms in there that can give you an idea. They're almost examples of havoc. Okay, and havoc is a noun. Number 3, recede is a verb. And you remember when I talked about recede, I talked about like the receding hairline. All right. I didn't talk about Mr. Hollenbeck's receding hairline. He's making sure I'm not doing that. Anyway, here we have another opposite. Listen to the sentence. At one point, Yudhishthira wants to recede from the battlefield, but Krishna argues that he must attack. All right, so we have the opposite. He wants to recede, but he's being forced to attack. Okay, and so you can see the meaning of recede by its opposite. Number 4, meander is a verb, and it gives you kind of the synonym for it. Like other epics, the Mahabharata, which is almost 8 times longer than the Iliad and the Odyssey together, may seem to meander. However, it does not wander aimlessly. Okay, there's our exact meaning. Okay. Number 5, dexterity is a noun, and we're given a word clue in there. The heroes of Indian epics have great dexterity with weapons. They are especially skillful. See, we have a direct synonym there. So you're looking for a noun that has something to do with being skillful or showing a skillful adeptness at something. Number 6, eradicate is a verb, and we have an opposite meaning again. Rama, the hero of Ramayana, cannot eradicate the doubts and suspicions he has about his wife, Sita, although he would like to trust her completely. Okay. Completely, he would like to trust her completely, but he can't eradicate the doubts. He can't get rid of those so that he can have complete trust. He can't get rid of them completely. Okay, so think along those lines when you're looking for the meaning on page 9. All right. Number 7, fervent is an adjective. And here we get an example of what fervent means. Sita is fervent in her devotion to her husband Rama. She would die before she would betray him. See, we're given an example of the lengths that she would go to for her husband that shows her fervency. Okay. Number 8, hideous is an adjective, and we're given some synonym and an example. Suspicions about Sita arise after she has been kidnapped by the hideous Ravana, king of a horrible band of demons. Okay, my context clues in there, I've underlined horrible and demons. Okay, both I would consider are, horrible, a synonym of hideous. Demons, I think, are hideous. Okay. Number 9, inflammation. Inflammation is a noun. The verb form is inflame. Okay. And you're kind of given some examples. She emerges, see that, throws herself into the fire, but she is good and pure, and the fire god saves her. She emerges unhurt without even the slightest scratch, blister, or inflammation. So inflammation must have something to do with a scratch and a blister. Okay, use that as clues to help you find the definition on page 9. Number 10, manifest. It can be a verb or an adjective. Sita's escape from the flames is manifest proof of her innocence. And here we have a direct synonym, or another way of saying manifest. It clearly demonstrates her purity. Okay? Now, I hope that helps you with the 10 words. You're going to be finding not only the definition that goes along with it on page 9, but also how the word could be used another way in column B. So make sure you read those sentences. Then on page 10, you're picking out the vocab word that would fit in the following sentences there. On page 143, as I show you, I mark up the contextual clues. I mark up this paper quite a bit. After you read the article, exercise 1, you're going to be writing down synonyms for it. Now, if you want to use your papers or your lesson from exercise 1 and write down synonyms from the definition, that's fine. Or I kind of do this numerous ways. I've done it where I've done exercise 2 first, and then I go back. Okay? For instance, the writer provides a clue for the meaning of havoc. This is number 1 in exercise 2. And I go and I look around and I see where havoc is used in the article. It says, people love stories. We have told stories in times of havoc and destruction, as well as in times of peace and prosperity. Okay, so I look at what the best explanation of how havoc is defined, and because it's linked with the word destruction, all right, I have indicated that D, I had circled D, that D is the correct because it's havoc and destruction. So it's linked with destruction, all right? Then on the exercise 1, I went over to havoc and I just wrote in destruction, okay? So you can do it that way, or you could go ahead and fill in the synonyms and use those to help you with exercise 2, okay? Either way works, all right? Well, I hope this helped you out, and remember to bring, I want you to try your best at every question, even if you are purely guessing, all right? But then put a star by it and ask me about it, all right? Talk to you soon.